Last session, the avant garde met with military leaders throughout the kingdom of the Grimolian. You developed a plan, a way to best defeat the armies of Grigerishtal and end the siege of Borador. From there, the armies can finally meet up, fully forced, and take the fight to him. He gets you into the Underdark and to end Gerishtal once and for all. As we begin today's session, you all find yourselves standing atop the walls of Borador. Currently, massive ballistae line the walls, pointed downward. You see soldiers running to and fro, bringing massive steel-tipped arrows, placing them in the ballistaes, and then firing. You hear the shattering of obsidian armor below you, the screams and torment of these fiery beasts getting slain, but you also hear the sound of stone being ripped apart as one large lava elemental currently burrows its way up through the solid stone structure you all stand on. You have slowed him down with cold damage thus far, but he is still angry and is still seeking his way further into the structure. At this point, you see Lord Augur running off towards the front gate with a large contingent of soldiers, as he himself is going to take the fight to enemies who have already entered into the city and are preparing to climb the walls. He has left you all to deal with the lava elemental. So, as we start the session, what is it all that you wish to do?
I think we were attacking this big thing.
You are?
Do we want to keep doing that?
If you want to. Currently, he is just about 100 feet away down the base of the wall. You can still see him. He is a sizable, large creature made of complete lava. You can see the burning parts that are still molten. And you can also see the parts that have been cooled by the massive array of cold damage that has hit him. But still, you see it is bright light searing off of him, and it is slowly getting back up to temperature to continue his burrow through the wall.
I will. Let me see here. That would not help with my longbow. I'm gonna activate my Howlgroon to get some resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, and then keep shooting my longbow at it, I guess.
Okay.
Because that's all I can do.
That will hit.
Alright, next attack. I think I get 4 attacks. No, 3? Let me check here. I don't remember.
I believe you get 3 attacks. I don't know if you're...
Probably be writing this down somewhere, but let me just look here. 3 attacks per action. Okay. So, second attack?
Yes.
An 18.
Hits.
Cool. And third attack. I don't think that hits.
That misses. The arrow sinks into the creature's molten structure and just burns off. The other two do damage it, to some extent. You watch as the arrows nick off pieces of the more hardened stone from the cold damage he has suffered. But he's angry and still looking like he's gonna keep burrowing.
Cool. That's all I can do.
Okay.
How far away is it?
100 feet.
100 feet.
Yeah, you're essentially looking down the wall as he's just burrowing upwards, just creating like this strange arcing staircase on the very edge of the wall here, just trying to get to the surface.
Yeah. There is seemingly nothing I can do. Just make sure.
You have anything that deals cold damage?
Nope. I guess. Can I just cast like a first level magic
Sure. Yes, you
at
can.
it? Because I can't do anything.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's 3D. Yeah, 3d4 plus 3. That's. Nope. Why do I always forget how to roll dice and roll 20? Yeah, there we go. 7 force damage.
Okay. You watch as the magic missile slam into the molten body, sending little pieces of him crashing off. Okay. Let's go, Belric. Is there anything you're doing?
Yeah, I'll cast a ice storm on him.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. What's his dex score? That is a fat 0, so that's a 14. He fails. Okay. You watch as the damage doesn't do anything more. It's not like he is weak to cold damage, but you watch as it is made of magma and lava, and you watch as pieces of it just turn to rock as it is just being cooled to a great extent, and it is even more slowed. This creature is mostly rock at this point, but you can see the parts where it is remelting the cooled rock that it's made of. It's not dead. You have slowed it down considerably. Senti. Okay, con save. That, wow. Yeah, that's a failure. Am I on the right sheet? I wasn't. It is still a failure. But that was a 15, not a 10. So it does take the cold damage. This is a magma elemental, not a lava elemental. I almost forgot about it. Okay. As you frostbite this elemental, you see it takes further cold damage. You watch as it burrows up. You hear the sound of just crushing stone as it burns part of its way up only 10 feet. You slowed it down by 30 feet of movement in a single round, and you watch as it just barely pushes up forward a little bit more and is stopped at that point. You hear some of the soldiers reloading some of the large ballistae, and you hear this loud as you watch a gargantuan, what looks to be just large obsidian creature just dashes forward, looking like it's about to just headbutt the entire wall as it's just clumsily making its way forward. You see it's about to go and just heavy just smash into the wall as two of the ballistae fire towards it. Okay. One is enough. You see one of the ballistae kind of shrugs off the top of its shoulder blades, and the other one embeds deep into the chest of the entity, just smashing right through it. You see it stops for a moment and halts, and you see the chest opens, and you watch as one of the obsidian soldiers falls out of it. This small, medium-sized humanoid, this fire elemental creature, just falls just out, clearly pierced by the ballistae and just not living any longer. You hear some commotion and watch as one of these other individuals begins running up towards what is clearly an armored golem of some type and begins to climb up it. Okay, back to Faradir.
I will just keep shooting at this one. I guess I'll do a giant might for some extra damage.
Okay. Hits.
There's really just... I cannot do a significant amount of damage from this range.
22 hits?
If I had immunity to fire, I'd fucking jump down onto it and start hitting it in melee, but as is, I'd get my feet burned off.
Okay. That's, yeah. Plenty of hits.
Right.
Every one of your arrows finds a presence within the molten magma elemental's core body. It's still looking like it's gonna be digging upwards. It's only 90 feet away from the top, so it's pretty far at this point. That is back to Seer.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. This is not the best for me. This guy got 30 feet closer, right?
He got 10 feet closer. He
10
was
feet
slowed
closer.
by 30 feet.
So he's 90 feet away now.
Yes, he is.
Okay, that opens stuff up, I think.
Actually, he's 80 feet away. He was slowed by 20 feet.
80.
Yeah, the only 2 sets of cold damage were done to him.
Okay.
That was the previous turn, I believe, that he was slowed as well. You know what? I'll give it to you. I think that was part of this. I'll take that as part of this round. So 90. We'll go 90.
I could. Okay. Um, how important is making sure this thing doesn't get into the city?
Um, just so you know, the size of the creature is huge. It is the size of a giant, and it has the ability to burrow.
Okay, so very, very important.
Yeah, it's if it makes an entrance, then all the enemies outside the city can get in.
You're
Okay.
lucky. So essentially, it is still at the base of the wall and has not yet reached the inside portion where it would start accessing rooms.
Okay, so I could summon an aberration, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to use a 6th level spell slot to summon a beholderkin aberration because I don't think attacking this thing with melee weapons is going to be good.
Okay. You summon a beholderkin that currently floats out over the field.
Oh, I didn't mean to roll. I'm sorry.
You good? That is a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
I like how you can. So wait, can you just roll? Like, click on these and just roll. That is interesting. I find that very cool.
Yeah.
Is that new?
I don't know. I did a thing where I did the like D&D Beyond to roll 20 link for a different game. And so I keep almost rolling things on my D&D Beyond sheet for Seer.
Hmm.
Um,
That is very cool.
yeah, so it's cast at 6th level.
Yeah. At the
And
end of your turn, it goes.
yeah, I don't want to use my Bardic Inspiration or anything right now because I don't know who I would use it on. Is there anyone here who could use Bardic Inspiration?
Not in a meaningful way for me.
Yeah, I thought not. Yeah, for now that's gonna be it. So my aberration is gonna attack, 3 times.
Okay.
That's actually, I forgot about that. I always forget. It is. Spell attack modifier to hit, so it's 10. It's
27
27.
will hit.
Alright. So 1d8 plus 9 psychic damage. 13 psychic damage from the first hit. Let's see if any of the others. 21.
Hits.
10 psychic damage. Bad roll.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Hits.
2d8 plus 9. 19 psychic damage.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, you can see that this magma elemental has taken a beating, just from the few attacks you've put it through, and is looking hurt.
I didn't have cold damage, so I did the next best thing.
Okay.
That's its turn. That's all it can do.
Okay. Belric.
Yeah, I think I will activate my wings and fly down 60 feet and start throwing javelins at him.
Okay. Your fiery wings envelop you, and 28 will hit. These are mundane weapons, correct?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Don't do as much as you would hope. And 11 misses. But, you know, a little bit of damage. How far down did you fly?
60.
60 feet. Okay. Um, Let's see. That is Senti now. You are currently hovering above the space. Frostbite again. Con save. This time he is going to get a 17. Okay. You hear yells coming from the soldiers around you. As you can see, a contingent of them have moved off of the ballistae, and you see they are setting up a trebuchet. And you hear one of them yell, "Brown mold! Bring up the brown mold!" You watch as they carry what looks to be a large boulder that is covered in what looks to be some sort of parchment of some type that is currently blocking a lot of the individuals from actually touching the boulder. You see they begin loading it up. You see one of them begins to set what looks to be a fuse of some type to alight the boulder on fire. And you see they all begin just setting up this trebuchet to fire from a distance. So that is going to be their turn. Roll to ensure that they do that correctly. Okay. You watch as they successfully set up a trebuchet with a brown mold covered boulder. You see they begin to back up. You see one of them lights it, and they all immediately wait. And as the boulder catches fire, you watch as it begins to expand and grow fuzzy for but a moment until it is launched through the air. You watch as it soars across the sky and lands in the midst of a section of this army, and you just watch as there is a scream of pain from a good, maybe, judging by numbers, probably about 30 or 40 of them, as they just begin being covered in brown mold as it just begins to engulf them, absorbing their fiery nature and just dealing massive amounts of cold damage to them. Yeah, brown mold. Like the stuff that was in your guys' basement. Which I believe Seer would remember. I think Seal was.
I remember it, yes.
Yeah. You got
It
heavily damaged
sucks
by
the
it.
heat out of you.
Yeah. And you watch as it completely demolishes a portion of the army. As that happens, you can see the one individual that was climbing the golem gets in and shuts it between him. You see the javelin still sticking out. Not the javelin. The ballistic bolt is still sticking out of the front like door capacity for him. And you see it runs up, climbs a portion of the wall, getting just underneath the magma elemental, and he's going to throw it. You watch as it just grabs this, slightly smaller magma elemental and just is going to chuck it towards the top of the wall. Okay. That is going to be 21 for a strength check. You watch as he throws this molten magma elemental some 60 feet upwards, rocketing right past you, Belric. You see, it digs its large magma claws into the side of the wall here, just 30 feet below the remainder of the party. And you see it opens up this magma-filled jaw, roars, and you watch as meteors spew from its mouth. I'm going to need everyone on the top to make dex saving throws as it shoots out a meteor breath.
Am I close enough to Belric for his bonus?
Belric is currently 30 feet below the creature at this point.
Oh, never mind.
He was just chucked 60 feet higher onto the wall.
I don't think there's a map,
There is
Cinti.
not a map. It would also be very difficult just to showcase a vertical battle like this.
Real 23D maps win.
I got a 7.
I got a solid 10.
Mm-hmm. I need one from Senti as well. Also, I'll roll for one for Gamesh. He actually can help with this battle now. They were not in his range beforehand. Cool. So that is a failure from everyone. So, let's just roll this. That is 10, 11 points of bludgeoning damage. And 10 points of fire damage. And you watch as both ballistae that are currently partially hanging over the wall are immediately engulfed in flame and caught on fire. Yes, you can.
How much damage is that again?
In total, it'd be 21 damage.
Okay.
10 fire damage, 11 bludgeoning. As it spews tiny chunks of burning stone towards all of you at the top. And it is a
So 10 fire, 11 bludgeoning?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm resistant to both.
Nice.
What is the pedal?
It is a magic rapier that produces burning petals of radiant energy.
Who got that? That's cool.
I think Mabeki has it.
That is correct.
I don't think any of you have given it to anyone yet. That is what you found in Felgadamine's lair. His
I'm pretty sure we gave it to Mabeki because she's the only one that uses a rapier.
Maybe.
Oh, is that the beautiful rapier magic that I have in my notes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm dumb. Yeah, I would have given it to Mabehi. I don't know if I was.
Fair enough. I think I might have put it on Mabehi's sheet.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mesh has the eagle whistle, and I have the dust that only I can tell the difference between.
Yeah. Go ahead and eat some tasty, tasty rust dust.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah. So he did not take any cold damage this turn. He then is going to carve and burrow his way upwards, and he's going to break the stone beneath all of you at the top as he sends out this molten, just meteoric breath. You watch as it just takes his molten fists and just shatters the stone wall right below where all of you are standing. I'm going to need another dex save from everyone, as he's just destroying the stone. He's just burrowing underneath you.
Oh, but I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
At least I didn't roll
16.
terribly.
Hey, this is much, much better. Ugh, okay. This was the one you wanted to succeed on. Faradir, Senti, and Seer, you avoid the now broken stone around you as you see this molten creature is just staring at your faces. Gamesh slides down some of the stone that is now breaking below him, and he is going to hit the magma elemental. He slides down to the molten tunnel that it now just carved, and is going to take 2d10 fire damage. He's going to take 12 points of fire damage. You watch as the stone that is, dug up around this entity is made of molten magma. And probably will be hot for the foreseeable future. As it just incinerates the ground around you all. That is his turn. So he got thrown and all that good stuff, and now he's in melee combat with Faradir starting it off.
It's my turn again?
Yeah, you're in melee
In
combat.
melee combat?
You're in melee
I'm sorry,
combat.
how much damage did we take?
You all succeeded. So essentially, the damage was only because Gamesh fell into where he dug from, and that whole area is now a molten tunnel of flame.
Okay, so the rest of us didn't take any?
Yeah, you just watch Gamesh essentially like slide into flames and fire.
Damn, welcome back, Gamesh, you're in fire.
Yeah, you are in a molten tunnel.
Okay, well, we're in melee, so I guess I'll pull out my swords.
Yeah.
And I don't imagine I can get into a flanking position because this thing is fucking big.
Yeah, it's kind of also just on the edge of the wall. It's still like gripping into the wall. You see its molten hands are just like breaking more and more stone as it just holds itself together and just melts it.
Alright, I am going to sword time.
Yeah, that will hit.
Okay, for 15 damage.
You are going to take some damage.
Okay, cool. Let's see how much this is.
As you're melee attacking this creature, you do take a solid 7 points of fire damage.
Okay, halved. Some
Halved
resistant.
to 3.
Right? Cool. Alright. Second attack.
Hits.
Okay, 27. Ooh, a D10 or 10 on the D10 first time I use the sword. Nice.
It's a good sword.
And I'm just gonna like do all my attacks, and if you just want to roll all the fire damage, because like it's not like I can do something that's not gonna make me take fire damage.
I know.
That's
that
3
is...
attacks, and then my
So that was
last
3.
one.
So it was 8 from the second. Okay. You're only gonna take another 3d6 as you do kill it. 3. So that is 6 plus 8. So a total of 14 extra fire damage. As you just
Is that already halved?
No, it's not. So it is 7. As you slash in with the blade of death and the thunder of the giants blades that you have.
I think I'll take the 10 damage in exchange for dealing 92.
Mm-hmm. You just slice across the board against this creature. And even though it is currently perched up on the edge of the stone here, its magma form is not able to sustain itself after taking a massive amount of damage just by attempting to burrow upwards. And you watch as the magma slowly begins to congeal, and eventually just begins to slide molten like down the rest of the wall, back towards where it climbed up from. Um,
Should I action surge? Actually, Seer, are you? Or no, you're already concentrating on a spell, aren't you?
Yeah. Why? I
Never
mean,
mind. I was gonna see about enlarge reduce, but
oh,
I don't want
yeah,
you to get rid of your thing.
I think the
Um,
Hoboken might be a bit more useful right now.
is this thing looking hurt? Like, it looks hurt, right?
it's dead.
Oh, it's dead!
Yeah, yeah. You slice into it, it just turns to like raw magma and just begins to roll and slide
Oh,
down like this molten waterfall down the rest of the wall.
okay, I misinterpreted that. Dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
Um,
We're outside the wall now, aren't we?
no, you're still on top of it. There is just a massive molten pit where it kind of dug underneath you, trying to make you all fall down. You do know
Okay.
that the only reason Ganesh didn't fall down the wall itself is mainly because he was being buttressed by the elemental itself. And now that it is magma and falling down the wall, Ganesh is going to slide off the wall.
Okay.
Just so you know.
I can't do anything about that, Mesh. Sorry. I mean, I guess that's my turn. I don't know what else I could do, really.
Okay. I'm gonna kick it first to Ganesh. This entity dug underneath you, and you slid and rolled through molten rock. And as you put your feet up against some of the more hard points of this magma elemental, you watch as Fairdeer slices through its skull, and its form just fades. And you watch as it just turns into liquid magma and falls. And then you just continue to slide off the edge, not having anything to purchase yourself up on. What do you do?
Okay. All right. I need a lot more breakdown of this. What edge? Where am I at?
So essentially, you all were looking over the wall towards this entity that was burrowing its way up through the wall.
Remember that.
It was then picked up and thrown by a gargantuan magma golem,
Okay.
and thrown an additional 60 feet upwards, past the flying Belric, towards near the top of the wall. It then climbed up using its now 30 feet of movement, and then swiped the stone, destroying it, creating a tunnel underneath you guys. You slid down this molten magma tunnel that it created, essentially a funnel to funnel you to it, and then off the wall.
Okay.
Now that it is gone, there's nothing keeping you from just falling through that magma tunnel off of the wall itself.
How close am I to the end of the slope before I go off the wall?
You're probably a foot or so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
You were essentially like resting on the creature, and now that it is just raw magma and just slides down the wall, there's nothing for you to really grab on unless you do something.
Any loose stones, like big or like large size?
So I'll read you this. When it burrows, the elemental leaves a tunnel in its wake. The tunnel remains burning hot for 10 minutes, after which the tunnel collapses. The creature enters the tunnel for a first time on its turn. Inside the tunnel, it takes 2d10 fire damage. It is a molten burning tunnel.
Okay.
It is mostly like hot rock. It's not a lot for you to grab.
Well, no. I was going to cast Animate Object, and I was going to land on, like, a rock outside of the tunnel as I come out.
There's not a Not a lot
Yeah,
of big
there's not.
ones.
Yeah, but there's molten. So obviously, it wouldn't be any destruction. It's just kind of a burning path.
Mhm.
Um, how below the wall am I? Like where we were standing. How below am I?
Um, you're probably only maybe 10 feet.
Okay. I will use. I will cast Investor of Stone.
Okay.
Uh, and that essentially gives me Earth Glide pretty much, and I will use that to get back up to the resting area where I'm standing on top of ground.
Okay.
I can move through solid Earth as if stones if it was air without destabilizing it. But I can't end my turn there.
Got it.
My,
The solid stone wall, you just encase yourself in solid stone and just push upwards, um, like swimming in a waterfall of stone. You climb your way back onto the top. You watch as the two ballistae that were here initially are fully engulfed in flames and just are burning apart. Um,
okay. Um.
as it did set everything on top on fire.
Okay. I don't have much else I can do as a bonus action. Um. And there's nothing like immediately around me or within like 60 feet. Is there?
Um,
I'm assuming probably not, but
like, what do you mean by that?
like creatures, like enemies, opponents, things they attack.
Currently, no.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
closest one is probably some 90 feet. Partially using the tunnels as essentially like a handhold is a
Okay.
gargantuan golem that you do see.
All right. Bonus action, Stone Aegis, and I'll put that on Faraday.
Okay.
Well, thanks.
Um.
What does that do? Reduces damage by 5? Right?
Uh. It's bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing by 6 right now. It's now 6.
6. Cool. Thank you.
Um. And I will just. I'll kind of be looking over the wall now. So that'll be pretty much it. I can't do anything else. My movement, action, bonus action.
Okay. That will bring us to Seer. So far, the elemental threat is dissipated. You can see the gargantuan golem currently just using the molten burned tunnels as a handhold as he just looks directly upwards towards where he threw his molten elemental. Um, there are no ballistae currently on this portion of the wall to fight back on it. And this entity seems to be just planning something. Just know he is about 90 feet down. Seer?
Sorry, I was accidentally muted. I wanted to ask if everyone in the party is currently safe.
At this point, yes. The only one maybe in some danger is Belric, who is 60 feet below you flying. But that is just because he is closer to the enemies.
Yeah, and he can fly, so it's okay if he's. So I guess do we want to attack this guy? This 90 foot away golem guy?
That seems like the most
Play
prevalent
here?
threat.
Okay, he's 90 feet away. And what's he made out of?
He seems to be made out of obsidian, similar to the armor of some of the soldiers you fought in the past.
Okay.
There is currently a ballista sticking out of the front chest piece, and you watched a new creature get into it. So you are fairly confident that this thing can receive damage. And, The people inside can be killed.
Then I think I'm just gonna have my beholder can attack it and not cast any spells on my own because
Okay. So roll for the beholderkin.
I don't know if this will. It's a 24.
Hits.
16 psychic damage.
Okay. So technically, since you're attacking into the armor, psychic does nothing to it.
Okay.
You watch as
No.
this is a constructed exoskeleton with a person inside and is currently immune to psychic.
That's good to know. Then I guess I'll just have my beholder can do nothing and that'll be its turn. And that's all from me.
Okay. Belric. This gargantuan elemental construct stands just 30 feet away from you. Seemingly, it is not able to go further up the wall, as there is no more pathway to follow.
And you said that like people actually go inside of it to control it, right?
Yeah, you saw one of them go inside.
Can I see where that opening was, where the person went into?
Yeah,
And
it's
fly.
right on the chest.
I guess I'll fly right towards that and try to like pry it open.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a athletics check. Okay, okay. Yeah, as you fly down, you land onto the chest piece and just take your hands and just begin to pull and rip open this obsidian structure. You feel a clawed hand dig into yours and attempts to keep the door closed, but you rip it open and see one of these obsidian warriors standing inside. He seems incredibly surprised that you are next to him. You can see him just reaching for what looks to be some source of power on his person. You would assume this is a caster of some type. Yeah, it is open.
And did that athletics check count as my whole action or like one attack?
I'd say no. I'd say that's just one attack. Kind of like a grapple.
Okay, then I'll swing my axe at him.
Okay. 27 is going to hit for sure.
And I'll use a first level of divine smite on this one.
Okay. Okay. You place your Night Song deep into the obsidian armor and are going to take a little bit of fire damage for doing so. Oh, that's a cocked die. You take 7 points of fire damage. As you slam the Night Saw deep into the chest, this molten energy stored beneath the obsidian armor just begins to flare outwards towards you. He does not look happy. Is that the end of your go?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Senti, your turn.
I'm assuming you're picking the chill shield.
I would assume so. Um, that's all you do. Okay. The next turn, the obsidian warrior in the inside um, is. Let's see. He's in melee attack range. Yeah, you see, he switches from going to his source of power to just making a couple melee attacks against you. So he grabs a weapon and is going to be a 19 against Belric and another 19 against Belric.
Yep, both miss.
In the tight quarters, he's not able to get a hefty strike on you, which is unfortunate. Let's see here. Nope, wrong sheet. Yeah, at this height, no one else can really affect you. You see large swaths of the walls are engulfed in flaming projectiles as the besiegers attempt to break down the lines. But yeah, he can't do anything more. So that is going to be Gamesh.
Okay, so magma golem, Gundam. I meant to say Gundam. Down below. Uh, it's about 60. Is it about 90 feet below?
Yeah, I think it was 90.
Okay. 90. All right. And Belloc is like right next to it right now.
Yeah,
Inside.
he's like right on the outside of it. He's just ripped open the chest cavity of this machine, this elemental construct.
Okay. Um. Fuck. Were those other fire things still coming down? Wasn't there like three things? I know it was the thing that was burrowing the hole, the big magma golem, and then there's like these little ones here. Are those still a problem?
Yeah, so the little ones have at this point, over the course of these few rounds, have disappeared from view and are now somewhere in the city. You saw the Lord Augur and a bunch of his personal guards have thus just ran towards them. They have assumed that you're taking care of this side of the
Okay.
wall, and they're going to go deal with that.
All right. All right. Cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans. Um, I really don't know what the fuck to do right now. I have to get down there. Pretty much, it's the only thing I can do. All right, and that magma golem is huge. Size category huge.
His size is gargantuan. The golem.
Oh, he's massive, massive.
Yeah, the person inside is also a large creature. So
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Okay. Damn it, man. I don't. Earth magic has its limitations. I tell
I
you.
know. Honestly, you. I will say this: you kind of just stood at the top during most of this because there's not a lot you can do.
There really isn't. All right.
Welcome to the club, my dude.
Okay. I will quicken spell. I will use Terran Fist. I will not be making the attack. I will just be keeping the gauntlet on my hand.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'm gonna jump down and try to grab it. And like latch on so I can do something next turn. Oh, never mind. I forgot I can do something. Never mind. I changed that. I'll blow into the eagle whistle instead of doing that as a bonus action. Uh, Eagle whistle, and I'll fly down, and I'll use my bonus action to use aggressive, so I can get to pretty much what Belric is. Then I'll attack as main action. I forgot all about the goddamn eagle whistle.
Oh, so yeah, you do have the eagle whistle.
Yep. So that'll put me up to 60 feet of flying. I will use my bonus action, use aggressive,
Okay.
and I'll fly towards it. That's 120 in total. And then when I'm up close, I will Terran Fist right to the face
Okay.
of the other one that's on the inside, not the golem.
Yeah, I
that's
figured.
yeah. Okay, Terran Fist. 28 to hit.
28 will hit.
All right, that's a total of 32 points of damage. 8 of which is force.
Jesus. Yeah, that is a strong hit. You and Belric now are just assaulting the operator of this large machine that is, you know, in the midst of climbing the carved path created by the magma elemental. That is Faradir's turn.
Longbow.
Yeah, I will say at
Oh,
this angle,
damn.
now that he's not really like able to control it, I'd say you can target the carrier as well.
Cool.
And 28 will hit.
6.
6
Second shot. Doesn't
misses.
hit. Third shot.
Hits.
Woo. Oh, that's decent damage. And that's what I got.
Yeah. That'll go to Seer.
Okay, and we can target the guy inside now.
Yeah, the large construct currently is like using essentially both hands to hold on. But since the driver is so preoccupied, the arms have fully extended, and he's currently on an angle, facing upwards as the driver, is just unable to control it as he's getting just stabbed and punched in the face.
How bad does this driver look?
You're 90 feet away. It's hard to tell.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna hit him with a 3rd level magic missile.
Okay.
16 force damage.
Yeah, that hits him.
Bad damage. I hope it hits him.
Yeah, that is unfortunate damage. No rolls over 3? That's sad.
Nope.
Damn.
Be like that sometimes.
Yeah, be like that.
Okay. Then you have your summon, the aberration.
Oh yeah, he needs to go and attack this guy. I almost forgot. It's a 13.
13 misses.
Nice. It's a 23.
Hits.
14 psychic damage.
Okay.
Last
He is not a construct, so he does take it.
attack. It's 12.
12 does not hit. One attack does hit, though, which is not bad.
Well, better than nothing.
Okay. Belric, you again.
Yep, I'll just swing my night song at him twice.
Okay. 14 misses. 22 will hit. Any smite?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, you and Gamesh, currently just in the midst of this, are just beating the hell out of him. It is kind of loud, as Gamesh is just blowing a whistle directly in your ear, essentially. Just to be in this part of the combat. Then it goes Senti. Currently 90 feet. Yeah, make a ranged spell attack. .27 does hit. Okay. Is that your go? Gotcha. The soldiers with their ballistae currently engulfed in flames and not remotely salvageable. They are going to load up another brown mold bomb, essentially. You watch as they bring another one of these kind of wrapped boulders out and set it into the trebuchet, set the fuses, and set the remote pulling mechanism. That is just enough. You watch as they set it all up. There is no harm to any of the crew there. The sheet stays intact, so they do not actually get in contact with it. And you watch as they light the fuse, and as it just begins to engulf and burn away the wrapping around the boulder, it is launched through the sky and then lands in the midst of the enemy army. And you just watch as a good portion of them are just immediately covered in brown mold as it just begins to just scour through the enemy lines, absorbing all of the heat it can and sending out vast amounts of cold damage to anyone around it. It seems probably one of the most effective methods to dealing with these entities. The people of Borador have found it. You watch as the elemental entity on his go, currently just reeling from all these attacks, is going to. You watch as he, realizing he's not good with the sword in this current kind of encased scenario, puts both hands on this mechanism, and you watch as it lights up with fiery, flaming energy. And then you just hear. And both of you look upwards just a little bit as the head on top of this lava golem just turns towards you, and it breathes a blast of flame towards both of you. Dex saves, please.
Okay. I'm next to Belric right now. So...
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. That's not a message. There we go.
It's a failure from Belric.
Failure from Gamesh.
Yeah. Oh no. Point blank, you watch as he is engulfed in flames as well, but he is immune to fire damage. As this 30-foot cone of fire just engulfs the entire body, the rest of you watch as it engulfs your allies and then burns up the wall some 20 feet or so, and then retracts back down as the flames subside. And you see your two companions heavily singed and burned. You are both going to take
80 HP.
Honestly, yeah. 34 points of fire damage.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
It's not. It was just 10d6.
You said 34, right?
Yep, 34. Technically, I rolled just under average by 1 point,
Damn. Okay.
which is unfortunate.
I need to roll my con save. Alright, that's good.
Oh yeah, I should say my bonus is now +4 instead of +3.
Oh, nice.
That is still a failure.
Oh,
Closer.
I'm sure. I guess I'll ask. Would you like me to roll something to maintain blowing into the wheels?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll another con save.
18.
I'd say 18 is enough.
Okay. Ever since I've first got my hands on this item, like this was years ago, I always felt like it didn't make sense where you can continue blowing to whistle while you're continuously being hit. So I always figured I'd ask.
You ever been in band?
Yeah,
think-
you ever been banned to put a torch on your body?
I think it's hard to continually whistle into something when all of the oxygen
Wild things
around
happen
you
in band class.
is burned away.
Because like in my mind, it's like you have to really concentrate on not screaming. So
Yeah, when you're just essentially when a dragon breath just hits you point blank in the face, it's not good.
Near
Hey
not.
man, I played the flute part of Devil Went Down to Georgia. I'm immune to lung damage at this point. It's the fucking worst part to ever play. It's every single note all at the same time, and it's bad.
All right.
I don't know if any of you ever played that song, but it's not fun.
I have played no instruments.
Good.
Oh, I forgot totally that melee attacks you do take extra fire damage from hitting him. Belric 6 points of fire damage. Gamesh 2.
Wait, do what now?
When you hit him with your melee attack, you did take damage. He's an entity made of fire. I forgot about it.
How much did I take?
You took 2. Belric took 6.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to roll another.
which is perfect. That is the end of his go, as he just commands his mount to blow fire. He's also, for the movement of it, it does have 50 feet of movement. You watch as, realizing this situation is just untenable, you hear the sound of large fingers releasing, and you watch as he just commands the golem to let go and begins to fall. Essentially, he is going to be falling. What is that? 110 feet. Yeah, he is falling 110 feet. Are any of you two, any of you two doing anything to stop this?
Who's you two? Me?
The two people in melee combat.
I'm not in melee.
Belric,
Can't do anything.
Ganesh.
God damn it, I'm muted. Okay. Is this like a reaction thing, or you asking me as an action?
This is most likely, this is going to be a reaction, because technically he is in control of the golem, as its
yeah.
driver. So he is fleeing your range. So I'd say attacks of opportunity. Now it is
Okay.
tricky because he just lets go of his hold on the wall. So I'm gonna say you can't stop him with Sentinel, Belric, but you can attempt to hit the driver for willing this thing to move out of your range.
Yeah, I guess I'll just attack him.
Okay.
Does 18 hit?
18 does hit.
It would just be the 5 slashing 8 that is not a spell, so.
Gotcha. 30 is going to hit.
Go ahead, Belric. Thrash him.
Any smites?
Yeah, I'll use a second level Divine Smite.
Okay.
I just love the spectacle that Belric has been doing since I got in here.
It is impressive. It is.
He's ripped over the latch and just start beating the shit out of this guy.
Mm-hmm. You watch, all of you, the large golem construct just fall 110 feet down the remainder of the wall towards the base of the army. Make a series of dex saving throws real fast. Okay. Majority of them are able to flee. You do watch as the large gargantuan construct does crush a couple soldiers beneath itself, and is then going to take what would that be? 11d6. Where am I down? I'll roll it here. This is easier. Yeah, the construct itself takes 31 points of bludgeoning damage as you watch it just on its back just slams into the earth at the base of the wall, some 200 feet down.
Damn, 200 feet. Shit.
Yeah. You hear the sounds of battle and conflict continue to rage um, across the entire walled complex of this city of Borador. Um, you can see off in the distance the large oozes seem to have breached the top of the wall, but are being fought back. Um, there is semblances of fighting within the center of the city, but it seems like this specific attack has thoroughly been rebuffed. Um, you see, um, what are the two of you doing, Belric and Gamesh, as you're currently just flying, kind of in the midway point?
Um. So did the pilot die, or did it still? It was it still up?
You don't see the pilot yet.
Or I don't see the pilot yet. Okay. Um.
He has not emerged from it, and he is now 110 feet away.
Um. I can hold this for the number of turns equal to. Ah, what would I be doing now? I would honestly, Gamesh should be hyper focused on this golem right now because this is a very big threat. So he'd be making sure the pilot was gone and actually dealt with first. And so the soldiers that he found on was the soldiers of the city or the soldiers of the fire army.
Of the fire army.
Okay, okay. Um, Now where it landed is at the base of the wall, right?
Yeah, essentially it just fell from because it was kind of just holding on the wall, and it basically was just climbing up the path that was carved out for it by a huge creature in its own right, but not as big as the gargantuan golem. So I had to like use it, the carved path as kind of like a ladder essentially. Um,
And where it landed, what's around it?
Um, the other army, the essentially the army that has been trying to besiege this space.
Like, is it is like a path like that the city uses to get up, or is it like
It is essentially just like the base of the wall. Like the enemy
okay,
army is on a slope, kind of downwards from here. There is only a small space that they have to assault the wall
okay,
on. It's not like a vast open field. It is like maybe 20 feet at most of
okay?
flat terrain, and then just a solid 200-foot tall wall.
All right. So this is you're just asking what we're doing at the moment, though. This isn't like turn stuff. This is just kind of
Yeah, there's not. I've been doing like a loose turn order here.
okay.
Um, this is really.
Uh,
This would most likely really be Ganesh's turn on the combat.
oh, okay.
Um,
Um. Well, Beric, do you know what you want to do?
Not really, because yeah, I was also deciding trying to if it was worth going down to the goal and finish him off or head back to everyone else. But I feel like going to the goal would be kind of a bit dangerous because it's also surrounded by like, the army.
Well, like yeah, I mean, I can attack it from a distance. So, uh, yeah. I would just be waiting to see if the pilot came out. That would be what Gamesh is doing. Um,
okay.
I
You
I'd
could
go
you can
down.
continue to attack that area. You can, you know,
Okay.
attempt to destroy the golem itself if you
All right.
wished.
So it fell down. So it's 200 feet below us, or below
110 feet below you.
below me. All
Yeah,
right.
200 feet
Then
from the top of the wall. So the rest of your party.
okay. Then I am going to cast erupting earth at mm, mm, what level I want to do this at? 7 or 8, y'all. 7 or 8.
7th.
All right, I'm casting it at 7th level, and I'm also going to use expanded spell. Throw that in there. Boom. Public. 7th level. And that is going to cost me 7 sorcery points. So within a 40-foot cube, basically anything in that area is about to get bludgeoned, and then the golem's also going to take an additional 8 points of force damage. Or the pilot, if I see the pilot.
Gotcha.
And it'll also become difficult terrain.
Yeah. That entire space, you watch as you level a good section of the field and create this massive sect of difficult terrain as this erupting earth just bashes into the enemy force.
Total 38, and then 8 onto the golem.
Yeah.
So 46.
At this point, the golem is... So it took... Honestly, the gargantuan lava golem itself is heavily damaged. You can see it has already been pierced by a couple ballistae, specifically one that went right through the chest piece. It's looking rough at this point. You can see large sections of the armor are basically falling off. It does not look as sturdy as it once did.
Okay. As far as bonus actions go, I don't have much else I really can do. Why not? I'll use the soldier's trinket to use Blade's Ward on myself as a bonus action. And that's all I have to do at the moment.
Okay. Faradir, is there anything you can do on your turn?
I mean, longbow if I can, I guess.
Okay. It would be a disadvantage, but you can.
Okay, is there any way to not make it disadvantage?
You could start climbing down the wall.
I do have
Remember, that's
climbing.
remember that is 200 feet for you.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. I can't climb that fast. I don't actually have a climbing speed. I just have bonus to climbing checks.
You could.
So I think I'll just.
I believe
you could run into this lady. And
I
fight
believe you're. I don't think you have a bonus to climbing checks. I think you have a climbing speed.
No, the gloves of climbing just give me +5 to athletics checks made to climb.
Okay.
They don't actually give a climbing speed. I mean, if you want to make them give a climbing speed, I won't argue with you. But the item they're based on, the gloves of swimming and climbing, except without the swimming, because Faradir can't swim.
Yeah, I just haven't. I forgot exactly what the gloves did.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used them like once. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go down into the city, but that'll take just about as long to get down there. And I really want to help prevent more things from getting in, so I'll just take that disadvantage.
Okay.
Ooh,
16. Yeah, it doesn't break the armor of the golem. 23 does.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Nope, that's not going to do it. And I don't really have any...
You can action surge.
I don't want to action surge on a disadvantage longbow. Are you crazy? That would be pathetic. I'd hit maybe once for like 5 points of damage. Um, I mean, I don't feel like second win is worth it at the moment. Because I could roll higher than the hit points I'm actually missing. So I'll just end my turn. And feel a little worthless. It's fine. I need a better longbow.
If you had the ability to fly.
Yeah, I need a fly speed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, the party is on track to all have fly speed at some point.
Mine may last 5 turns. It counts.
Yeah. Okay. Um, let's go next with Seer. Is there anything that you wish to do?
I don't think there's anything I can do.
You um yeah, I don't know. You can't damage the armor itself because it is psychic damage.
Yeah. So
You could, if you wished, you can just send your summon out to harass the enemy, and I would attribute a couple kills to it.
yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, you just
You
send.
don't have any, like, cantrips you could send down?
My only damaging cantrip is fire.
Ooh.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they
So
are.
I think I'm just gonna go have my beholderkin harass some people.
Yeah,
For me.
the beholderkin begins to slowly fly down and just shoots its 3 rays out into the field, targeting specific enemies. They have no real way to counteract that. Um, so it just will, be very annoying for a long time.
Yeah. That's a good use. That's as good of a use for it as any. That's all I'll be doing, I guess. That's all
Okay.
I can do.
Belric.
Am I able to see like the pilot at all, or any kind of movement from the golem?
Currently, there doesn't seem to be much movement from the inside. If you want, make a perception check. You look inside. From what you can see, you can like the front what is the word compartment is open. You can see him. It's hard to see movement. He is made of like dark obsidian armor. It kind of matches with the inside. It's hard to tell. Doesn't look like he's moving though. What are you doing?
I'll throw a javelin on him, see if he makes any kind of movement.
Okay. Are you throwing it with disadvantage or?
Yeah.
Okay. 15. You're throwing it at which one?
The pilot.
The pilot. Okay. It doesn't really find its mark.
I'll just throw another one.
Okay. It's hard to hit. It's a small. It's like throwing a dart from like 40 feet away. Except it's throwing a javelin 110 feet away. It is just very difficult to make that hit. Senti. Is there anything Senti wishes to do? Which soldiers are you talking about? The town, like the city of Borador soldiers, or the enemy soldiers? Um, there are no city soldiers on the ground. They are essentially playing defense from the top of the wall. They all have the. Honestly, all of these ones have the same CR. Yeah. I will say, from what you can tell, all of you, it seems like this current part of the wall has been situated. This front has been rebuffed. Just to see if you kill the golem or not, and to see if that all works out. If you want to summon some pixies to cast fly, you can. Whatever you wish. Who wants to fly?
God, please.
Fair. I'm about to say Faraday.
Please.
Faraday wants to fly really badly.
Thank you, little pixie.
Love that.
You know what? I'll take one. I thought about it. My whistle ain't gonna last like 3 more turns. So
Does Sia want to fly?
Do I want to fly?
Yeah.
It would be nice if someone could cast fly on me, so I don't have to cast fly on myself.
well,
Okay.
Cindy, bring it down to 5 minions of chaos. Not that's it.
The pixies that Seer summons, all in their own turn, begin to fly around and cast fly on the party members. Which is pretty useful. I think Ganesh probably isn't flown yet, as the pixies have to go down to him. I don't know the fly speed of a pixie.
Oh well, they're not on the roll 20.
60 feet. Let me check.
Pixies have a fly speed of 30 feet.
Yup. Yeah, on D&D Beyond, 30 feet. So one could dash. Actually, is fly a touch spell? Yeah, it is. So yeah, one can dash, and then next turn we'll be able to get Ganesh if he doesn't move. So one will probably do that. Everyone else is flown. That is on the top. That brings it to the soldier's turn. The soldiers on the top, realizing you see a few of them kind of look down the wall towards the situation down below, and you hear a few of them go, "I think we stopped him in this run. Let's keep it going. Someone get the barrels." And you watch as the soldiers begin to grab what looks to be a series of small barrels, 4 of them, and begin to roll those towards the newly made slide made of molten rocky stone. You see they begin to time themselves, gather themselves, spread around the edge of the wall, and at the same time they're going to dump the barrels over the edge. You watch them drop these barrels, and as they begin to slowly fly past all of you, falling down the 200 feet, you watch they explode across the ground, and a soft mist begins to slowly creep along the floor down here at the base of the wall. And you watch as everything in its path, in the path of all of these barrels, it only extends maybe about 40 feet or so, but immediately begins to hard freeze as they drop a chemical that just seems to instantly freeze down the space.
Liquid nitrogen? Have we
Potentially.
discovered liquid nitrogen?
Maybe.
Hell yeah.
So let's do some cold damage. Okay.
Have like water that's really cold, and then whenever you touch it, it freezes instantaneously. I did that, and it was super cool.
Hell yeah.
I'd never done it before, and I'd always wanted to do it, and I did it on accident, and I was like, oh, holy shit, that's so cool. Because I was just picking up a water bottle that was in the freezer to move it, and it just instant froze, and I was like, whoa! Insane! In my wildest dreams, I never imagined.
Nice. You watch. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but you do see a lot of the more susceptible elementals, the ones that are actually made of magma themselves, instead of the obsidian soldiers that you see make up a majority of the army, are incredibly slowed as the cold energy just seeps in through the ranks, seemingly slowing down a good portion of them and doing some damage. At this point, the turn that you would expect the giant golem to start moving, it doesn't move. You assume that he probably didn't die from the fall, was saved by the golem, but he took a rock to the head, for sure, which would have been enough to kill him. A massive Gamesh boulder to the face surely did it. Gamesh.
Oh shit. Does it seem like they're trying to recover the golem?
Um, from the most part, it does seem like there is contingent heading to the golem to try to save it. Yes, for sure. They're slowed for sure by the liquid nitrogen dropped on them.
Okay. How many charges do I have left? I can't use the staff spells with my spell slots, can I?
No, you cannot.
Okay. Um. They'll probably break that down pretty fast. All right, then I will do the same thing as last time, but this time I will do it at 5th level.
Hmm.
Erupting Earth, granted spell at 5th level.
Okay.
Ooh, nice, even better damage.
Yeah. As you cast another one of these erupting earths, you all watch as the very uh, large construct body of this lava golem is just utterly destroyed. You can see the arm is bisected and severed as large spires of hard rock just slam through the obsidian armor. You watch as the head begins to roll partially down the hill and begins to compact, hitting a few of these soldiers in the face and knocking them down as it just begins to avalanche roll down the mountainside as the body is utterly destroyed, and it would be very difficult for them to recover that piece of equipment and repair it now that it is utterly destroyed. You kill a good portion of those individuals that are affected by the cold damage as well. The whole front line, at this point, there is no saving that construct, and this whole line breaks. Um, their their attack has been thwarted, and there's nothing
Next.
for them to really do. I will say, to kind of speed this up, over the next 10 minutes, as you all are flying, you begin to harass the enemy more than they would have ever expected. They've been dealing with an army that has been stationary, that has been using ballistae and natural siege tactics, well, anti siege tactics, to try to survive. Having you all fly out towards their army and laying aerial fire from afar does hamper them greatly. Um, and you watch as this portion of the army buckles under the weight of your assault, and the stopping of their assault is so great that the entirety of the enemy line does a partial retreat. Um, any enemies that were within the city at this time are killed, as there are no reinforcements to support their assault, as you all drive them back. The army is still out there besieging the city. Their siege weaponry is still supported, but they cannot support any direct assaults on the city. They are harassing it, attempting to wear down morale. Nothing more. In the end, you all fly back to the walls of the city. The soldiers uh, are just ecstatic. The entire time you flew harassing your foe, they were just letting them have it. You can tell just by the voices of themselves that their frustration and pent up anger towards this situation comes to a head, and they just let them have it, calling them every sort of name and just being so ecstatic that this is a true victory, not a stalemate where they are lucky to survive. This is a true victory for Borador in this battle. You do wait about a half hour or so as you watch the Lord Augur begins to climb the steps and arrives to greet you all.
Seems you found a weakness.
Seems so. I do say, I'm certain that you've all just saved the day here.
We have our moments.
I doubt they'll attack for the rest of the day. Or at least for a few hours, so they regroup. They almost broke through the front gate. That golem you defeated, they've hit us with it. They hit us with it a few times. I believe they have a couple. One, from the sound of it, was punching down the front gate. Everything you just did saved the front of the city. From the little contact I have with my son, Killian, I heard you, Gamesh, an earth sorcerer of sorts. Would you care to help me secure some portions of my city?
Sure.
Thank you. The rest of you, I'm sure you have some abilities. If you think you can help me secure more portions of the city, let me know, and we can work on that. I want to secure us throughout the night. Once I feel like we're safe enough, we'll talk about this plan for the coming days. Is that understood?
Yes. Sounds good.
Okay. Come with me. I want you to help me repair the burrowed tunnels that they made. So, if there's anything you believe your characters can help this city with, let me know.
I can help carry things or hold things up.
That
I
is
am strong.
Yeah,
actually
do they need someone with a lot of muscles?
that actually is very helpful.
Because that's all Faradir has.
Go ahead and make an athletics check with advantage.
Fantastic.
Okay.
That's alright.
You help them bring up to that portion of the wall that was heavily assaulted more ballistae. They are reinforcing that section of the walls to great effect. If Senti is still has her pixies, a few of them will ask Senti if they could help with some of their engineers to be able to fly as well. Okay. The engineers are given the ability to fly, and over the next 10 minutes begin to assess the damage to the wall that it has suffered. After about, after you guys have finished your flight, I will say the molten tunnels do collapse in on themselves. It is the very nature of that molten burrow effect is just heavily melting of stone and material, and that whole portion of the wall that it had burrowed upwards on begins to just slump and fall apart. Thus, those engineers use the fly ability and some natural spells that they do have to begin to work on repairs. They to the best of their ability, they attempt to secure the stability of that section of the wall. It's not going to be anything similar to what they had, but it's better than nothing, and it is a great help. For Gamesh, he will merely ask you to use a wall of stone spell, maybe a few of them, if you deemed it necessary. But essentially, he's just repairing and reinforcing the dug tunnels that these creatures created. Um,
Would
this,
he like them? Would he like them to be filled back in?
if you can do that,
I mean, with move Earth, I can do that first, and then I can use Wall of Stone to reinforce it.
if that is, yeah, if you wish to do that, like he doesn't know your full abilities, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, that would make the most sense. I'll. Mm, when's the last time? When's the last time we took a long rest?
the previous day,
Previous day.
so like just last night essentially.
What time of the day is it now?
After that whole battle, and I'd say it's probably been an hour or two.
Okay. All right, never mind. I'm not gonna do that then. Just in case they attack again, I want my 8th level spell slot.
Okay, that's why he's merely asking for just wall of stone,
Yeah.
and he will be adding guards to this section of the city now, realizing that they have created dug tunnels that they could feed larger creatures through potentially. Instead of trying to take down the walls, they might use that same creature to burrow molten tunnels through.
Yeah.
Which, seeing the effects of it, seems unlikely, as their tunnels do collapse after 10 minutes. So it would not be a large threat to the overall stability of the city. It wouldn't be like an open gate, as it would just collapse in on itself after a certain amount of time.
Ugh.
Okay. Seer and Belric, is there anything you two have abilities or wish to try to help the city with?
I don't think there's anything I can do.
You have a background in architecture, don't you?
I technically have a background in city planning. Architecture is more of like a hobby thing.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
But I could technically do stuff with architecture. Like I just don't know what though is the thing.
It can help with reinforcing structures, knowing how
Yeah.
to stuff like that. This is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, the only thing I think I could feasibly do is provide advice on how best to stabilize the walls if I could figure it out.
Make, just make a general intelligence check.
I almost did a strength check and that was not correct.
I want to do one of them.
26.
Ooh.
Yeah, the engineers, you do help them, because it is a collapsed portion of wall. You help them secure the existing portions that have not fully fallen down, because it really is only the base section of the wall that kind of collapses in on itself, and that is, and they never reached any of the rooms within this part of the castle. They merely just dug against the exterior wall, and you help support it and secure it in a way that makes it so it will not be too damaging if that should be attacked again. You also, I will say, with your planning ability, help them cover blind spots. The ballista were unable to attack the lava entity once it had begun its process of digging upward. The wall is not a straight wall. It curves along the kind of natural flow of the mountainside here. And you are able to reposition some of these ballistae to kind of cover the blind spot that the enemies had found.
Why is there a +2?
I thought that came from your bardic thing where you add
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, jack of all trades. Yeah.
Okay, that makes so much more sense. I was
Yeah, it's all skill checks.
You're just cheating, that's all.
You're just cheating. That's it. Why'd you out yourself?
I mean, it's still 24.
Yeah. What if the DC was 25?
Then I'd fail.
Oh goodness.
And Belric, is there anything that you wish to help the city with?
Like the only thing I can really do is just be also doing like muscle work.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say that you can help them um, resupply. They used a lot of the materials that they had brought up for any sort of assault, because like when you teleported in, they had been fighting for probably about the past 4 hours. They had used a lot of their supplies. Um, Go ahead, just roll me athletics check with advantage.
Athletics check.
Yes. Yeah, pretty good. You help them in anything they need. You bring up more barrels of this very. These barrels are um, very cool to the touch. In fact, you're given specific gloves to wear while handling them, lest your fingers begin to meld to the very wood itself. You help bring up a ton of ballista bolts, um, and additionally, you help bring up these very hazardous boulders, um, and begin to essentially gather them for use in the trebuchets. And you realize that these are more brown mold boulders. And you understand the mechanism that kind of that they've been seemingly using to fire these safely, which is to place a boulder that has small chunks of brown mold on it, wrap it in a material that allows the mold to not harm the people carrying it, to set up a fuse to light that material on fire to transfer heat to the brown mold to expand it across the entirety of the boulder as they launch it. It is a hazardous and very dangerous way of conducting combat, but you've seen the effects of it, and are very careful not to break it open and be succumbed to devastating cold damage. After about a few hours of this, you all gather back into the castle itself, walking through this massive courtyard between these two large 200-foot wide sections of buildings and walls that make up the main defensive point of the castle, essentially. The courtyard is filled with injured. You can see probably about 400 individuals with serious third-degree burns across their bodies. You can see healers are going about using magic where it is deemed necessary to save a life, but mostly just putting ointments and cooling rags on these people in serious pain. Even though this was a successful day, this city is being ravaged by this conflict. This current area is an open courtyard filled with many people, and the courtyard itself is approximately it's massive. You're looking at like 1,000 by 1,000. In a 30-foot radius, if you ask the healers, so 30-foot radius is 60-foot diameter. Um, So to find the area of a circle, it is pi r squared, which is just 60 foot with the diameter times pi. You can get about 188 individuals. It is. I'm assuming this is... What spell is this? Is this Mass Cure Wounds? Here, let me find a better map to calculate the actual space this would be. Um, hmm. Yeah, so if you wish to heal 30 individuals, you can. That would get 30 more people up in fighting status. I mean, if you have a higher level healing spell, like heal, that'd be interesting. Or what's the one that allows you to allocate like 700 HP?
I thought that was heal.
That might be heal, actually.
Heal is 70.
One of them
I think
has
I think mass heal is a lot, and that's like a 9th level spell. Heal, it's either
Yeah,
6th or 7th.
mass heal is the 700 HP. That in this situation would be would be great. That would heal like pretty much everyone in the vicinity for enough health to, yeah, that's also a 9th level spell. Yeah, if you wish to heal 30 individuals, they would greatly appreciate it. Um, hmm. Honestly, all of these healers do have healers kits. If you wished, you could spend the healer kit, their healer kit, to full on just heal people. Which would be better, would save you a spell slot. So as the party is being led back into, well, probably actually, you gave the certain people fly, but you spend a good 2 hours or so doing this for the majority of your time while Ganesh is off fixing a wall, and Faradir and Belric are restocking supplies and bringing up heavy materials and machinery. You spend your time being this strange healer that these people have never seen before, but you are able to fix dozens and dozens and hundreds of people's burns. And I'll say over the course of about 2 hours, you're able to heal 120 burns. Getting 120 people in fighting condition, essentially. Instead of roaring pain, which is a very nice thing to do. But you can't help but feel like it's not enough, as it's still less than half the people here that are injured. You pick and choose who, are the most damaged and the ones that will be able to go back to the front upon being healed. I will say this is a war, and it is probably still disheartening to just know that there's so many more that need help and will not be able to gain it. War never changes.
Get the without a Fallout reference.
Yeah. It is.
Goodness. I haven't played that game in so long.
It is also a quote, I believe, from Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah,
well.
I think so.
But Fallout's better than.
Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah, Fallout's way better than Ulysses S. Grant.
What wasn't Ulysses?
Yes, him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ulysses.
Okay, he was a general for the Union. I couldn't remember if he was a general for the Union or not.
Yeah. He was a Union. He was
I knew he was a Civil War general. I just couldn't remember what side he fought on.
Yeah. He was a drunk though. Like, he was not a healthy guy.
Back then, who wasn't?
Probably because of the war.
I will say the only person I supported.
Back in the war times, everyone was an alcoholic. There was more going on.
I will say my favorite Civil War general has to be Sherman. Did great things.
What was Ulysses S. Grant known for?
Know who that is. So.
Grant was the main guy. He was like the final general that they never fired because
he was the main character.
Yeah, he started winning the war, whereas every other general just kind of sucked.
He was the president.
Yeah, he was also a president.
He was dismissed as weak and ineffective. I can't talk today.
Yeah.
Historians have often ranked Grant's presidency near the bottom in American history.
Yeah.
He just kind of sucked. Okay.
He was an okay general, though.
Yeah, he was like an okay general, but like okay general doesn't mean he didn't kind of suck overall. He had like one thing going for him.
Yeah, some people shouldn't be the president, turns out.
Yeah.
Just because you're good at one thing doesn't mean you're good at being the president of the United States.
Just because you're good at war doesn't mean you're good at being the president of the United States.
There's been a couple of those. I think the only good one was probably Washington.
Washington did it in reverse, though, I think.
To be fair, though, also, Washington had no competition.
Or no, yeah, he was a general and then became the president, because everyone was like, you should be the president, and he was like...
Like, he was
the
first...
Alright, I guess.
The thing was, he hated it, too.
Of course.
Yeah, he didn't want to be the president,
which
was
great.
So funny.
Imagine being expected, everyone's like, yeah, you'll be our president, and you can be our president as long as you want to. And he's like, 2 terms,
no.
I'm done.
Yeah,
but I don't want to, is the thing, guys. I don't wanna. Can you find someone else?
I personally think every president should just not be wanted. No person who gets the presidency should actually want to be president.
Yeah.
We have to thrust that power onto people who don't expect it and don't need it.
Yeah.
Super effective.
Mm.
Definitely a good idea. Nothing bad could happen.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Will not end up with a dictator.
Never.
If they don't desire for power, why would they seize it?
Hey, they could get corrupted real fast.
They say absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
It does.
They may
Anyway,
not crave because they never
Dungeons
had
and
it.
Dragons.
Yeah, I crave power.
Just like real life.
Just
Time
like
to
real life.
kill people on purpose, unlike real life.
Unlike real life, where I do it on accident.
Yeah, where I do it on accident. I have a few
Unlike real life,
manslaughter
where,
cases against me.
yeah, no one can legally say I did it on purpose.
Exactly.
What does that mean, Senti? Really late healing? Oh no! Oh no!
How do these people feel about their friends and families being turned into zombies by the heroes? Oh my gosh!
So, Senti, do you actually turn some of these dead, soldiers into undead?
Somebody needs to stop her. We can't afford this hit to morale just yet. Do it where no one can see.
Our public image is ruined.
Oh god.
If you thought your image was ruined before.
They're gonna kick us out.
This is so funny.
Yeah. I
Ugh.
hopefully Senti is just joking and not actually.
I don't think Cynthi's joking. I'm pretty sure
I don't think
Cynthi's
Cindy's
serious.
joking either. Is someone around to stop her?
Since he doesn't
Currently,
know how to make a joke.
No.
Fuck.
Alright, well, let's see how this goes.
Alright.
So, you animate some undead? I need it confirmed.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do
Come
it.
on. Yes. We can clean this mess up, I'm sure.
Seer will talk us out of it.
Yeah.
That's why you have a bard, right? To talk your group out of
Do
deep
you-
shit when they get themselves into
Do
it.
you ask, Senti?
Or you just do it. Do it. We're like gods to these people. They can't stop us.
Says the guy who fell onto a tree.
Alright, gods fall.
And then they die. Yeah.
I didn't die though, see?
Chad is whispering in your ear. Do it.
Do it. Do it, mother.
Come on.
Yes, mother.
Don't be a coward.
I need more brothers.
Alright, Chad said
Chad
do it,
is evil.
He's a bug.
Turns out, Chad is chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Alright, well, here we go. Let's see how this goes against our publicity.
So, you find a portion of the encampment is set and filled with those who are really not surviving this. Their wounds are fatal, and most of them have already expired at this point. Most of them are already dead. They just haven't been buried or taken someplace private yet.
You're getting the real first ones.
After your extensive healing,
Oh no. She says, as they die, she's using her spool.
I'm gonna heal the ones I can. The ones I can't are gonna be zombies.
Oh no. If a beast or humanoid that is small and medium dies within 10 PD, you can actually animate it.
I don't know what you would use.
It only lasts for an hour. Those
Yeah,
ones
it
only
only
last
lasts
for
for
an
an
hour.
hour. I don't know what you'd use those for, but walking through the morbid sections of dead soldiers, you can see priests are currently laying to rest and doing final rites of many of these individuals. You walk over to a portion of the chamber that is kind of devoid of many of them and begin the process. So, go ahead and just roll me a stealth check for me, please. Okay. Okay. Over the next minute, you begin to raise the dead, creating a unliving companion. After a minute passes, you just hear this soft groaning noise as you're as it just begins to moan in your direction as it sits up. You see the arm kind of begins to move, and you just hear the sound of like quiet grating as it begins to stand and move, and you realize the reason this person died is because their third degree burns. Well, their burns were so bad that you can see the bone on the shoulder blades rubbing together between this singed, burnt flesh. There is nothing to stop the bone from just touching and rubbing against itself, as it's all been just burned away. And as the undead human rises to greet you, you hear a high-pitched scream. You turn your head, and you see one of the clerics just faints, falling right on top of one of these dying people who just groans in pain as she just full-on just falls on top of him. You see three of the other clerics immediately begin running over, immediately picking up the person as the guy just groans in pain as he was just crushed by this person who just passed out. What are you doing?
Well, that's not good bedside manner.
Yeah, you watch as they pull the cleric off, and they're immediately more focused on that cleric than you. They don't seem to have noticed what you've done. They don't know why this person has passed out, and you see they're immediately grabbing materials from their cloaks and their pouches and attempting to wake this individual. Okay. Go ahead, roll me another stealth check for me, please. Okay. You walk out of the space and begin to exit the tent, and as you kind of hold the tent open as the undead zombie walks out before you, you take one last look as the cleric wakes. He goes, "I swear, they were dead and they were standing," and they're just shaking. And you smile as you see one of the other clerics just looks up at you, and just not seeing the zombie as it has just walked outside, turns his head looking to where the body was at one point. And you nod, and walk out of the tent, and the flap closes, and you and your zombie are now in the center of the courtyard. I'm not gonna lie, I rolled 2 6s for their perception checks.
It was just meant to be.
Yeah, it was. The zombie looks towards you as he's just waiting for your command. Okay. As you begin to walk through the center courtyard with your zombie companion, you see the rest of your party, as it is about time that you have all gathered together. You see Senti, all of you, walking towards you with what looks to be a soldier of the Kingdom of Borador, or the city of Borador, I should say. It takes you a few moments to realize this person is dead, and realize the ramifications of what this actually is. So, you're all together now.
Cindy, how many people have seen you with that guy? Okay. All right. Good to know.
Just to clear it up, you all are currently about to meet up with Lord Augur, as he is leading. Mostly at this point, he was with Ganesh for a majority of that time, so he's kind of ahead of the main the majority of your party, just kind of leading you all into the structure. He has not noticed yet.
Okay. Maybe we should stash the body somewhere. Can he go into my bag of holding?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna... Hey, Cindy, can I stash that guy in the bag of holding so, the Lord doesn't see that you animated one of his soldiers' corpses? Perfect! I'm just gonna start working on getting this guy in the bag. That's what I'm doing in this... at this moment. God, this is just such a good solution, guys.
Mm-hmm.
All of my problems.
So,
All government workers go in the bag.
As the zombie is placed into the bag of holding, he goes, and then falls in.
Yeah. All right. Cool. We're good to meet the guy now.
Yeah. He does look back, as you all are currently, not following as fast as he probably wants you to. And just looks at you with your bag on the ground. Kind of confused. And then continues to walk, leading you through the courtyard and into the main structure. You walk through these well-defended, fortified hallways and into what appears to be a central chamber. It seems to be kind of similar to the throne room in the Grimolian keep. However, it is much more bland and more utilitarian. There is no real throne. There is an elevated platform with a large decorated table that would assumingly be for the Lord and his family to eat at. But you can see that is filled with dust, as if he does not eat above his soldiers and the people who dwell within this chamber. Walking in, you can see an assortment of individuals are currently having what looks to be their lunch. Individuals and guards and soldiers that are currently not up at the front and just enjoying a small bit of break. You can see most of them seem to have elements of wounds, small singes and burns across their bodies. These are probably veterans who have been relieved by newcomers and are currently taking some well-deserved time off before they have to get back out to the front. Lord Augur walks through these many lines of tables. You see many heads are nodded in his direction. You see he stops every so often to talk with a few of the guards, seeing how they are, and you can tell that this individual, this hard-looking, tough-looking individual, is very caring. He cares about the lives of these soldiers. He knows them by their names and asks them about their days and their wounds. After a portion of time, he does exit this room, takes you deeper into the facility. There you find a small chamber, sparsely decorated, and it seems to be a study of sorts. Small private room, a few bookshelves dot the space here and there. You can see the ceiling itself seems to have some sort of mechanism designed into it, as if it could be changed in some way. It does not seem like the ceiling here is permanently in this position, as if it could open up in some capacity. You see he walks over to a large desk, again sparsely decorated, with some minor papers strewn about. A few books left here. He sits on the edge of the desk. Close the door and have a seat. Now that the city is somewhat safe, I believe we can talk. You had some documents for me. Plans? I'd like to see them.
Who has those?
I believe it was Gamesh.
Okay.
Oh wait, what do I have?
The documents that he needs, the plans for the fight, the plans that you were sent here with.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anyone specifically said that, but I'll say I had it.
Okay. You hand them over. He just begins to open them and look through them. Mr. Coleman has done his research, it seems. I appreciate you choosing to come here instead of fighting with the rest of the force.
We're gonna need all the help we can.
We will. Some of the information he has is wrong.
Like what?
The enemy's numbers. We haven't been able to get a contact with him. They've expanded. That new lava creature we saw. It came with an additional 1,000 soldiers. Just last night. They were softening up our position for about 4 hours before you arrived. I'm glad you killed it. It would have burrowed through the walls, wherever it could. I assume it chose this location to, well, take the castle first, instead of going through the city. I doubt they will do the same thing twice. Seeing the defenses here and the thickness of our walls, next time they will be going for the front entrance. The front gate, even. If it burrows through that front gate, through those front walls, their army can swarm the city in hours. We got lucky with your arrival. Still, I put my faith in Lord Cormeth in the past. When he was a prince, of course. He knows what he's doing. He's led combat before. Even outnumbered, he still should succeed. I guess I need to ask, when we sally out, how do you all wish to fight this? You're not exactly the most tactically trained, but you have good intent and good skill.
Is he talking about the like fighting Garish Tall, or are you talking about fighting
Fighting troops, essentially. He's asking you how you wish to conduct this next battle.
About how many came to assault the wall?
They can only get a few thousand up against our walls. Our line of sight with ballistas is impressive, facing the entirety of the way down the mountainside. I believe they had 5,000 up, actually attacking the walls, spread alongside of it. The rest of their 11,000 isn't strong enough. They couldn't actually hurt us.
Alright.
There.
Yep.
If there was a disturbance in the slope of the mountain, what are the chances of causing a slide?
I'm not entirely sure. Do I know?
Make a intelligence check.
Okay. 9. I don't know. I don't know the Earth.
It's it's a slope. You've heard of rock slides before. Mudslides can happen. It is been fairly dry recently, especially here. So it's the most you know.
I'm sure it's possible. I know it's been pretty dry. I don't know if being dry helps or hurts. Landslides, I don't really do nature. So,
Alright.
Make if anyone wants to make a nature check, they can.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Could I make one with advantage? Because I'm from the mountains and we've probably had to deal with rock slides before.
I will say sure.
Yay!
between Gamesh and Faradir, the slope is pretty intense. If you were to cause a rock slide, which is entirely possible, or even a mudslide if it was wet enough, it would be pretty drastic. A large number of their force would be subjected to it.
What are the chances it would affect the wall?
The wall itself, the city has designed the wall pretty intensely. It is incredibly thick, and Lord Augur will tell you that his ancestors dug it into the rock itself. The wall extends 50 feet down from where you currently saw it.
Oh shit.
It is anchored into the stone around it. They quarried it out and built up the stone structure. It is specifically designed to be flush with rising mountain. He'll tell you that the actual rooms that you would see in that structure don't show up until you're about 80 feet from the top of the wall. All of that bottom space is solid worked stone all the way down to the base of the mountain, essentially. It would do nothing. Unless you... unless there was a great earthquake, then maybe. But the wall should be fine.
I'm thinking of using the environment to our advantage. They want to climb up the slope of a mountain. Sometimes things on mountains come falling down.
The mountain near the castle is the strongest. Near the front entrance, it is lessened. Majority of their forces do congregate there. And it is a wrapping stone road. You could hit the entirety of the road with a good rock slide. Or even a mudslide, for that matter. I don't know how you would cause it. But I can see where you're coming from.
Anyone else got any ideas?
How many of those
The power of water would give us the ability to cause a mudslide. It would be easier than attempting to free rocks that really aren't there too much.
Okay, so does anyone have any water-based abilities? If I get a long rest, I can have water spear, but that's about it.
Water spear.
Yeah.
What's water spear? Oh,
Water
Sphere.
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 I wish it was water spear. That'd be wild.
I summon
I like-
water spear.
I'm like, that sounds like a dope ass fucking spell.
I
I
have,
cast water spear.
That does kind of sound cool.
I have a water skin. That is about the limit of my
She
capabilities.
says, I have about the equivalent of about 4 cups of water.
Yeah, I could sprinkle that into the mountainside. I'm sure it would help.
We can do a landslide tomorrow.
Well, since he's the druid, we know the druid is going to have all the water stuff.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got like tidal wave, create water, all that good shit.
So
Which
we can
is
do
way
that
too-
tomorrow. We can do a landslide tomorrow, but we...
A tidal wave could do some damage.
Yeah.
How many of those, like, obsidian mechs do they have?
From our
think he said-
calculations, they had a few of them.
Ooh, Maelstrom isn't going to be as devastating as the wave is.
Maelstrom is pretty good for once there are enemies to fight.
Yeah. Once they're actually in like a combat, then Maelstrom is really good.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt to prepare it.
Um,
I don't think I have anything that I can do that would be especially helpful.
what's that one spell that druids have? Is it Turn Stone or Transmute Rock? I think it is.
Yeah, Tsunami is also a really good one.
I think the spell's called Transmute Rock. I think that's what it was called.
Let's see. Spells.
Yeah, if I
Yeah,
don't think
transmute rock. It's a 5th level spell. You can transmute rock to mud or mud to rock.
I don't think the area was that big though.
An area of stone. It's a 40-foot cube
That's not too bad.
within 120 feet.
Hmm. If we could turn the ground around the front gate to mud, we could loosen it up enough to cause a mudslide with, if you have the ability to cause a tidal wave or something that powerful, we could cause a mudslide
Tsunami would do it.
across the whole terrain, and a wet mud would, well, it could cascade it. From there we could sally forth and pick them apart while they're trapped.
Yeah, Tsunami is massive.
Yeah, Tsunami is fucking huge. It's way bigger than Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave's only like 30 feet. Tsunami could fucking start the mudslide.
It could. And if
'Cause
the mudslide was
the
already
range
prepped
is
in advance, if you could, create vast amounts of mud and then tsunami, you could increase the effectiveness of that mudslide.
I mean, yeah, but this is a attack, so of an army. A minute isn't really that bad at that point.
Ooh, it takes a minute.
I didn't know it took a minute though. I did not know that. It does take a minute.
That is interesting.
Huh. I mean, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, the range on it is insane. It's just, if you can see, you can cast it there. So on a clear, cloudless day, the range is multiple miles.
Control weather. Yeah, you could make it rain a lot. Yeah, but no, you would cast that as soon as we started seeing them. As soon as we saw them in the distance.
They would. They haven't left line of sight. They would see us plotting, and if you want to just cause a tsunami, I would take them by surprise for sure.
Well, a lot of this depends on Cincy then. Being a druid, her magic is very potent given the environment. Wrath of Nature? Nah, that won't work as well. That's a lot better, like forest areas. Okay, so I mean, you got to replace if you don't want to, but yes, since you don't have the trees to do the lashing attack, I mean, it can be useful. It's way better than forested areas. Um, okay, so one plan is landslide or mudslide. Um, I have earthquake, but that's not going to be as devastating for a whole army. Um, anyone else have any other things we could do? We could just charge in and fight them.
Yeah, that's about what I can do. I can just fight them. I have lightning bolt. If that would help. if they're when we're actually fighting them, if Senti casts Maelstrom, and then I lightning bolt the Maelstrom, would it electrocute everybody inside?
That's only science.
What do you think, Graham? Oh God. What is wrong with your mic, dude?
Graham's turned into an electronic bug.
Yeah, Graham is an insect
The
now?
lightning. Graham is pure electricity.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
Uh-oh. My headset or something's breaking. Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, infinitely.
I unmuted and I don't know what happened.
Whoa. Your mic decided to not process. Or Discord decided to not process. Something was not processing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. But a maelstrom and a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Um,
Like if I were to target a creature in the maelstrom, would it also damage everything else in the maelstrom? Because lightning?
let me just double check. Maelstrom fast. Honestly, yeah. It's every one of them would be in 5 foot deep water. So yeah.
Alright, that's an option that we have for when we're actually fighting shit. Yeah. Get a bunch in one spot and then electrocute the shit out of them. I can only do it once though, unfortunately. What would really be amazing is if Gamesh had something that can give people disadvantage on deck saves based on the terrain. And then we maelstrom that area, and then I lightning bolt it so they have disadvantage on their deck saves. Ultimate group team up power move. Prone would also work. I think prone gives you disadvantage on deck saves. Does Maelstrom knock them prone? I don't even know. I haven't looked at that spell in a hot minute.
Maelstrom pulls them to the center. I don't think they get knocked prone though.
Well, it's difficult terrain, which is nice. Yeah, so bludgeoning damage and pull towards the center. Um, does... Let me see something.
Tsunami will.
Not that one. How about this one? I'm just looking at different spell options here. Anyone have Sleet Storm?
I do.
You could Sleet Storm it, and then we Maelstrom it, and then we Lightning Bolt it.
Never mind. I have Ice Storm.
Yeah, Ice Storm is what I looked at first, but that doesn't make them go prone. Sleet Storm does. Sleet Storm has to make a deck save or fall prone. And if they're concentrating on a spell, they have to make a save or lose concentration. I don't know that many of these things are spellcasters, but, you know. The prone thing is really just a cherry on top, but I think just Maelstrom and Lightning Bolt could be pretty useful when we get into big combat. So I don't really know of any other spells that knock a bunch of people prone in a big area.
So have you decided on a plan yet?
I don't know, were we gonna do the tsunami?
Can't do
Since
that
you
until tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
well, as long as they don't attack before we get a long rest. Which one do you want to do, Senti? Is your spell.
Yeah.
You hold all the power.
We all just turned to look at Senti. What do you want to do?
The bush sweats.
What do you want to do?
Maybe transmute rock.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
it's
would be
gonna.
burning a lot of high level spells, but honestly, it would probably help and
I
be
mean,
worth it.
to deal with a small army of 5,000. It really.
Small army.
Yeah,
Of
that is
5,000.
that. So there is still a chance that it could be less. That was how many soldiers surrounded the city today. Um, you do know that your force is currently hoping to draw a majority of the army.
Oh, I can knock them prone. I have earthquake. That's stuff about that.
Ooh.
Ooh, Earthquake could be a good combo for Maelstrom Lightning Bolt.
Well,
That's 3 of the elements. We have earth, we have water, we have air.
And you're fighting the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
the only
Guys,
issue,
we're the Avatar?
the only,
Collectively?
the only issue with Maelstrom is that that's if we are about to start actually diving into battle.
Yeah. That's once, like, battle happens. But it's still a good plan. It's a good
Oh yeah,
option.
no, it's a nice spell to have regardless.
But yeah, Earthquake could also help with the landslide. Or mudslide or whatever.
Scrying. Scrying tends to be a little more situational.
Yeah,
Um,
scrying is like... I don't think we're gonna be scrying on anybody anytime soon.
And as for plane shift, I have plane shift, so you don't really have to worry about that. You can always have it. You never know. I might not be able to cast it for whatever reason. So, I mean, that's up to you. That's
If we
just
just want to abandon everybody and leave. Like, bye, guys. We're going to a different plane of existence. Have fun. I don't know. What
Should
even
probably
planes
be
could we go
our.
to? Don't we just have a bunch of really bad planes?
not really. Well, we have two bad ones, and then
So
one.
the Abyss, right?
Yeah, the abyss, the fire
Um,
plane,
mhm.
We'll just
and
go to the fire plane to escape the fire elementals.
and then and then I also have the one for Feywild, and I have the material plane tuning for it too.
Yep.
Okay, so
If
like the
you
plan for tomorrow, I guess, is transmute rock and then tsunami.
I mean, do we really need to transmute? I mean, this transmute rock is only going to be
I
40
don't know
feet
if we
deep.
need it.
Yeah, I mean, because tsunami's really going to do most of the work right there. The amount of water it's going to generate. And then once the water's saturated, I can cast Earthquake, and that might be able to cause the mudslide.
honestly, that
Oh, for
probably would do
sure.
it. That
Yeah,
would
if
be enough.
you send a
Just
tsunami towards the mountain, so it crashes into the mountain, gets all that wet, and I think tsunami also deals a fuck ton of damage too, so that could help with starting it.
And it keeps going. It doesn't just stop.
Oh yeah, it's like a
oh, you
concentration,
would
isn't it?
flood the valley.
Oh, for 6 rounds. Can we just fucking waterboard all these elementals?
I mean, they're fire.
Yeah, they're all fire elementals, so can we just destroy them with one spell? The ultimate neti pot.
I mean, you saw what some of them, had happen to them with like just cold damage. So
And tsunami actually keeps things from moving too, unless they make a athletics check. So they could just be stuck in place while they get battered by water. I think
so
tsunami and earthquake together would be pretty good. Just get some natural disasters up in here.
I think you guys have a solid plan.
We come up with those every once in a while.
Yeah.
We have our moments.
Okay.
Everyone knows that D&D plans
So-
always work.
With this information, let me. I need to know the range of tsunami real fast.
It's a 300-foot area.
Well, I know it's 300 feet high.
300 feet high, 300 feet long, and 50 feet thick.
Is it 300 feet long?
Yeah, 300 feet high, long, and 50
So
thick.
you can create it out to a point you can see within range, and the range is sight. So
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You could cast it like miles away if it's clear enough.
yeah. Yeah. So, over the course of a few hours, you all develop this plan and idea to cause a tsunami, a subsequent earthquake on the enemy force. Let me just double check earthquake. Real fast. That one is a range of 500 feet and is a 100-foot radius circle. Okay. So, with those two powerful abilities, you could level the playing field if it needs leveling at all. Based on the plan you currently have, the enemy army should be on the move sometime tomorrow when your forces begin to march and are spotted deliberately. You all spend the remainder of the day prepping this plan, working out all the kinks, ensuring that you have every possible opportunity to conduct this. The soldiers begin preparing themselves, amassing supplies near the front gate, in some subsequent small outer gates, finding any way that they can to sally forth from the great walled city of Borador to hit the enemies head on once you cause this devastating assault. As the night passes, you awaken periodically to sounds of renewed fighting. Small, miniature battles happen over the course of the night and into the morning as the enemy force assaults the walls where they can and besieges the city still. Your allied army, at this point, still prepares. And you wait a good portion of the day until close to 2 in the afternoon. There is movement. You hear the heavy rumblings across the earth as a portion of the army begins to split off and head down the mountain. It takes a long time for the scouts to correctly estimate how many have left, how many are left besieging the city. And 2 hours later, when the enemy is out of sight, you get communication from your allies that they are on the march. Guanistan had arrived. The giants had arrived. The allied army currently marches from the forests outside of Dislak, across the fields and rocky hills towards Borador. Some 8,500 strong, and you alert them to your knowledge. The enemy army that you've seen leaving Borador currently numbers a total of 9,000. 2,000 enemies remain. Based on what you've been told by Lord Augur and your other allies, the enemy has outnumbered themselves. 3,000 Borador soldiers ready themselves in the coming hours to join you all in this assault. You will have 1,000 soldier advantage in the coming fray. You take a few more hours to allow the 9,000 flaming elemental soldiers to get further away from the city of Borador. You amass along the gates and the walls and look out toward a city that for the past few weeks has seen nothing but devastating conflict. You see eagerness on their faces. You look out over the open field off in the distance, and the 2,000 fiery enemies standing before the city. Large volleys are launched off towards the enemy force. Trebuchets and ballistae fire forth, attacking into the enemy force, goading them into a strike. The enemy's large siege weaponry fires back. Massive flaming boulders land in the center of the city, lighting up houses, buildings, shops, taverns. The fires rage. You watch as the enemy army begins to march forth, goaded into the assault. You hear heavy, heavy crunches as you see two large, titanous mechs, these lava golems, gargantuan in nature, begin to step forward. You see they wield massive shields, given to them probably by certain giants. And between them, you catch only a glimpse of it, but two more of those burrowing, lava-filled creatures begin to march with them, hidden and protected through the shield. As the enemy army marches up the path, unknowingly marching right into your victory. All you have to do is seize it. In the moments before you cast your spells, before you take the fight to the enemy, we're going to end the session there tonight. So, a reminder. The plan is to tsunami the enemy army as it's making its way up this pathway, then earthquake. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next session, you all go to war. This will not be a normal fight. I will alert you to that. You will be fighting with an army. I'm assuming your group would wish to stay together in this.
Would that be best for us? I mean, because we have Fairdeer and Belric, and they can't just stay up on the wall. Like, for them to be effective, they need to...
Okay. If you wish, Fairdeer and Belric can be given command of forces.
Oh, don't let me speak for you guys, of course. I was just
It's up to
saying.
them.
I mean, yeah, I'm borderline useless back in range, so if I could get up where I'm actually fighting things, that
for the
would be
most
helpful.
part, The plan is not to stay on the walls. The way the tsunami would work is it would kind of knock the enemy army on its ass and push it further down the mountain. Um, your force is attempting to sally out. They are sallying out with a majority of their army, leaving only about 500 to kind of man the walls. Taking 2,500 soldiers, you will be going forth, charging down the mountain to engage the enemy force there. You will have height advantage, and the enemy should be disoriented and weakened even further than they currently are. That would be the best course of action to get the full effect. If the enemy were able to just retreat, Borador would be saved, but the enemy army could link up with other forces. It needs to be destroyed. The siege equipment needs to go down, and the only way to do that is to charge outward and destroy the siege equipment.
Okay.
So I anticipated that you would cast your spells and then go and join the front, essentially, and meet up with your group. That's what I assumed. Because you're probably not going to have the ability to fire at range from the walls entirely. You would need to get out there. And kind of use your numbers.
Alrighty.
So if you wish all to stay together, or if some of you wish to kind of take units under your own wings, let me know.
I think that would probably be best for Faraday and Belric.
Yeah, for sure. For me,
Yep.
at least.
I mean, I get pretty close too. I do a lot of up close fighting.
Yeah.
So what would like taking charge of troops entail?
Taking charge of troops would mean your squad would be on your initiative order.
Okay.
So, you can help your unit in battle, but they also will be kind of self-sufficient in their own regard. If they start failing and faltering, it could lose you. Like, it could mean that you could be forced to retreat, but you can negate that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it will not be a normal, like, single or a couple enemy battle where, you're using your effects against, like, an enemy to kill them. You will be using your attacks to take down multiple enemies and shift the battle in your direction. If you start failing, like you start having some bad rolls or some bad damage, you could start seeing negative modifiers come your way. But I think you guys will do fine. You have the advantage in a lot of respects.
I'll have Gamesh helm a group then.
Okay. Gamesh will be given 200 soldiers to lead into combat.
Fair deal will also do that.
Yep, and Belric too.
Okay.
Fair deal is super good at leading people. For sure.
Gotcha. Each of you are given 200 soldiers to lead into battle.
Damn, they don't even ask for our qualifications. They're like, yeah, you can have 200 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After
our
the
first
first
spells.
spells is when the gates will be open and the armies will sally forth.
All right. Sounds like we got something going.
Okay. Um, so that leaves. I will say, who wants to take Mabehi? She will join one of your armies. She won't lead, but she will definitely join you. Um,
I think I would
Uh,
personally say Faradir.
yeah, I don't mind. Does it mean
Mabehi,
that I'm gonna be controlling her character for the most part if she's not there?
I'd most likely be controlling it if she's not there. She would just be helping
Okay.
within your portion of the initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take her.
Yeah. Okay. She will watch your back. Um, Seer and Senti, do you wish to join the other forces? Um, ooh,
A cold dragon? I don't know what that is.
summon. Uh, that could be good.
Oh. That can work.
Yeah. Can it go
Oh,
far from Senti?
did we have a long rest already?
Yeah, you would have a long rest after that. This is the next day around, most likely around 4 in the afternoon is when the battle will begin.
Oh my gosh, I always roll a 1. The fuck?
Dang.
At least I got my whistle back.
Yeah, that is just kind of unfortunate.
I'm at 5 charges.
So we had a long rest.
Yes, you did.
We had a long
Okay.
rest.
Yeah. The your army wasn't able to begin moving until essentially today in the earliest. So they started their march around 8 and were spotted essentially close to 1. The enemy army took an hour to draw up battle plans and marched out. Thus, you gave them a couple hours for yourselves to fully plan and have the enemy army kind of march as far as possible away from you, so you can fight your foes without having to deal with an additional 9,000 soldiers.
I do gotta fly. But I will talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Um, See you all next session for the actual war.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yep.